Hi guys, and welcome back to another Dot Race video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21, starting our MotoE World Championship. It's going to be round 1 here in Jerez. So Grant in E-pole with Zacconi and Eggiter on the front row, with Perolari, Torres and Herrera on the second. Hernandez, Granado, Ferrari, Pons, Casadaya, Kubo, Mantovani, Iwama, Tulovic, Perez, Cardalus, Aldeguer and Kevin Zanoni at the back of the grid here in Jerez. So here we go, looking to the red light, and away we go. It's going to be the first race of the season here in MotoE, and it's a good start for Zacconi and Eggiter. Not so great for Grant, but we'll go round the outside as Zacconi going into the first corner if we can. Pretty good so far, all men stayed on board. Just as I mentioned that, someone has crashed and the yellow flags have been waved. But onto the right hand side for the Michelin corner for turn 2. Zacconi leads. Zacconi with a hole shot, and Zacconi is in the lead with Dominic Eggiter and Grant in pursuit already in the very early stages of this Grand Prix. So now onto the left hand side for turn 4 in this 8-lap sprint race. So onto the right hand side, can we make a lunge? Already going up with inside into Zito Pons. A little bit of contact there. It's Dominic Eggiter flies through there. Didn't even see that coming. Eggiter just went absolutely flying going into the right hander there for Zito Pons, and is now in the lead. Zacconi and Grant will continue to battle it out as Perolari and Torres will look for just a little bit behind. So into the right-hander for the Danny Pedrosa corner for the very first time of asking. Eggiter a little bit squirmy on the acceleration. Same can be said for the Trentino Grassini man up right behind him as we go in the left-hand side for turn 7. Eggiter pulling away somewhat. We want to try and stop his momentum now before he gets too far ahead. We can't allow a big gap to develop when in an 8-lap sprint. Of course, if he gets a second lead, you better believe that might be over. But don't worry about that for the time being, because going into the Angel Nieto corner, this where we were super quick going into the E-pole session just early on today, 4 hours ago, of course. We went super tight there to the Dynavolt intact man there on the right-hand side. We'll go for the Alex Crivier corner, right onto the rear of Dominic Eggiter's Energica Ego machine, as we now go onto the right-hand side for Ferrari. Can we have a lunge going into the Lorenzo corner, the 13th corner here in Jerez? So much battles have concluded there, but this one rages on already, coming towards the end of the very first lap. So currently, as things stand, the top 8 riders are Eggiter, Grant, Perolari, Zacconi, Torres, Granado, Maria Herrera and Matteo Ferrari. I had to quickly check on that one just to make sure I was getting it right. My teammate down in 8th position, the original Moto E Cup winner, of course, as we go onto the right-hand side in a moment's time for Michelin for turn 2. Keeping tabs on Dominic Eggiter right now, holding onto his coattails with both hands, not allowing the Swiss rider to get away. The stunning Swiss as we go on the left-hand side. In just a moment for turn 4, we'll have turn 5 coming up in a moment's time as well. We had a lunge going up at the inside for Zacconi on the previous lap, but not quite able to get the job done there. Eggiter runs it a little bit wide though. We have that super tight inside line, and we are leading for the second time, first time perhaps. I can't remember if we ever actually got the lead in this one, but the Swiss man is still strong. Is he going to be strong on the brakes? Oh, a little bit of contact made there, almost running over his foot there. Not my intention, but we didn't manage to crash, so both men are still on board their respectable motorcycles. We get on the left-hand side for the 7th corner for the second time of asking. So the first lap, of course, is a write-off in the sense of the lap times, but we'll get a better indication on this lap here now. So, of course, we are in a bit of a battle, a bit of a dogfight with Dominic Eggiter right now. So are we going to set a decent lap? I guess that doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is we can sustain a gap to Perolari behind. I do believe Zacconi and Torres aren't too far behind either, but the battle rages on between Eggiter and Grant. Can we go around the outside here? We're wonderfully positioned going into the Crivier corner. That is a job done. That is brilliantly done, actually, going into the Crivier corner. Not many overtakes are done there going into the Crivier corner, but for turn 12, we managed to get the job done. So how about that one, Eggiter? Waiting on your response whenever you're ready, as he already goes for it. They're going into Lorenzo corner. That was an aggressive move, which I didn't see coming. He just launched up on the inside, forced me wide, and now we have to fight back into the first corner in just a moment's time. Perolari sets the fast lap of the race here, so maybe he is just waiting for the opportunity to arise, and now it has come. Now he's ready to have a bit of an attack and give it to Grant and Eggiter. So going into the right-hander for Michelin, we're going to try and get back ahead of Perolari. I cannot afford for Dominic Eggiter to get away from us. We cannot afford to let that happen. Not here, not in an 8-lap sprint. We just can't allow it. So we're going to try and get past Perolari sooner rather than later. Can we go around the outside into Zito Pons? That would be a bold and brave manoeuvre. And I tell you what, it's almost job done. But he does run it nice and tight to the apex there, so I couldn't really get around the outside. So well done for Perolari for playing it safe and playing it in a very, very fashioned defensive style as we now brake there much, much later than Perolari did. Much, much better actually. Very, very smooth going into the brakes, into the Dani Pedrosa corner, formerly known as dry sack, of course, that long run and into that braking zone, one of the hardest braking zones you'll ever see. Really tough braking. And of course, going into that corner in MotoGP is a bit of a tough one. This MotoE bike really took it in its stride. So major props to the Energica Ego machine going into the right-hander of Dani Pedrosa just a moment ago. But now right onto the trail of Domi Egerter once again, half a second quicker than Egerter on this lap. So you better believe we have the bit between our teeth. Where are we going to go for the lunge this time? Going around the outside for Crivier worked, but will it work again? Not quite. As we now go into Ferrari for the 12th corner, can we dive over the inside of going into the Lorenzo corner? Give him a bit of payback. Not quite. Egerter standing firm, holding on for dear life as Perolari very close to the rear tyre of our machine there, the medium rear that we're running right now. I tell you what, we have kept the tyre life in this bike very nicely. As Grant says, the fast lap of the race, a 1:47.098, brilliant lap coming in for the British rider there, the 27-year-old from Warrington, as we get on the right-hand side, going into the first corner, very close to Domi Egerter, now into the right-hander of turn 2, waiting for a cutback perhaps. Where are we going to go for the lunge on Domi Egerter? He has been brilliant on the defence so far, but he can't get away, so that is the positive. It's all about lining him up now for the proper move. Where do we want to execute it? Where do we feel confident on? Where do we feel like this is going to be the move to get the job done? Not into Sito Pons, I believe, because of course Egerter running that wider line, but we go for the tight line. Could be contact in a moment's time. Super close there. Good job, both men realised how tight they were going into the right-hander of Sito Pons, but the Dani Pedrosa corner, both guys side by side, breaking into the 6th corner, super tight there. Will Egerter get the cutback going around the outside? It's going to take a bold man to do that, and unfortunately Egerter in this instance wasn't bold enough. Bold enough in Mazzano to take out Torres, I guess, but that's for another video. As we get into the left-hand side for Jorge Martinez Aspar corner for the 8th corner here in Jerez. Are we free? Are we free from the shackles of Domi Egerter? 0.2 of a second clear now, going into the right-hander of Angel Nieto. And of course, this part for Pelliqui, Ferrari, Crivier. These couple of corners coming up now, we have been super brilliant. We have been stellar going into these corners. So hopefully now, that is the job done. Hopefully we have that lead on Egerter that we really needed to make sure we can get the Grand Prix victory, the first MotoE Grand Prix victory for us in our debut race. Of course, let's not forget, this is a brand new category for us. We've never raced here before in this category, but we do love Jerez most and well and truly dearly. It is a wonderful Grand Prix. So across the line we'll go. It's a 1:47.696, so not as quite as quick as the previous lap, but we did engage in battle with Egerter with a couple of laps to go. I'm pretty confident in our abilities right now. Zacconi not on the podium as things stand. I definitely expected to see more from Alessandro Zacconi, Torres and Eric Granado, but for the time being, not seen much of them as of yet. Of course, Zacconi was there earlier on in the session to start this one because he was up in the hole shot position for quite a while until we got into the Sito Pons corner. And speaking of the Sito Pons corner, mistakes have been made. Grant has run it wide, and there is Zacconi. As if he was just listening to what I said there, he's decided to throw it back up on the inside and get himself involved in this battle. But that one mistake has cost us as we go right into the braking zone for turn 6. Once again, look at the rear tyre sliding. I was applying so much rear brake there to try and slow this motorcycle down, and we couldn't seem to get the bike stopped. But going into the left-hander of turn 7, we are on the back foot again, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in 2nd place, and Dominic Egerter has retaken the lead. The Dynavolt Intact GP rider, the Swiss man, the number 77, is in the lead, but for how long? We're going into our favourite sector of this track right now, the 3rd and 4th split. It seems to be where we are super quick. So can we chase down Domi Egerter? And of course, as mentioned in the qualifying video just 4 hours ago, it doesn't really matter if you use power setting 2 or 3, there doesn't seem to be any depletion in the sense of power or energy for these Energica Ego machines. So going into the 13th corner now, do we have a chance just to surprise Egerter in a corner? We haven't attacked him yet. I think he sort of expects where we're going to go because, of course, we've done the overtakes in similar positions. There's a little bit of fairings were bashed there. Rubbing is racing, of course, in this MotoE category. Will he be brave on the brakes? Who is going to be the last of the late breakers? Egerter decides to dive up on the inside for turn 1. Beautifully positioned for Egerter. We can't get even around the outside going into the 2nd corner because of the nature of this particular track. Brilliantly done from Egerter. That is a veteran move if I ever did see one. Amazing job for the Swiss man as we now go into the left-hand side for turn 4. Can we get back? Going into Sito Pons for the 5th corner. Perolari has now reclaimed 3rd position ahead of Zacconi. Can we go to the inside for Sito Pons? Oh, Egerter's going around the outside. Arm down to the floor, elbows down to the floor, helmet touching the floor almost. It's carrying so much lean angle just to try and defend against the Trentino Grassini man as we now go into Danik Pedrosa. They're going to be side by side. Here they go, we're going into the 6th corner. Where are we going to be? We've braked a little bit too late. Once again, it's difficult to stop this Energica Ego machine. It needs so much brake. It's just so heavy to manoeuvre around this track, but we're just managing it somehow just to try and get it stopped in some of those really tight, difficult corners. But we managed to get the job done. We're still in the lead, but by 1.8 tenths of a second, so almost 2 tenths of a second, a sub 2 tenths to Dominic Egerter as things stand. And I've just seen Jordi Torres insert himself into the top 4 positions by getting ahead of Perolari for turn 4. Oh, in fact, he's actually had a bit of a comeback there. Perolari's decided to not give up the 4th position just yet, and he wants to hang on to it a little bit longer. So currently as things stand, Grant Egerter, Zacconi, Perolari, Torres Granado, Herrera and Matteo Ferrari. So now going into the 13th corner, Lorenzo Corner squirming the rear tyre there, just trying to slow the motorcycle down. It's difficult to get these bikes stopped. It's not what I'm quite used to just yet, but of course give me a couple of rounds and we'll get the job done. But there is Domi Egerter, there is the Swiss man. He's getting involved once again as we begin the penultimate lap. Turn 1 has been navigated. Where is Egerter? There he is, going up on the inside. Is he going to... Oh, he's got that position again going into the 2nd corner. He is brilliant in positioning himself in just such a way you can't get through going into turn 2 for Michelin. But turn 3, can we fight back? Not quite. I don't have the smoothness on the acceleration to manoeuvre like he can going into that 3rd corner. So amazing job for Egerter, but going on the right-hand side. Can we go around the outside? Not quite there. Going to be... Oh, Zacconi dives with the inside. Oh, Zacconi is completely scuppered. Our chances of victory in this one, did not even see that coming. Torres has now taken advantage. We're down to 5th position on this penultimate lap. We need to fight back, and we need to fight back very, very quickly. Zacconi has absolutely ruined this one for us. He pinched the top position in practice just earlier on, 4 hours ago if you missed the video, and now he's trying to pinch away the podium from us and potentially the race victory as well. He's a little bit of a sneak, isn't he, the old Alessandro Zacconi? I don't think so, mate. We're going to try and fight back and get ahead. Of course, I'm using too much acceleration there. Look at the rear tyre, squirming and slipping and just attempting to grip, but really can't when there's someone holding the acceleration a bit too much. My apologies to the Energico Ego machine, but we go into Pellequi for turn 10. Now onto the right-hand side, we'll go for turn 11 and then turn 12 in a moment's time. So Crivier has been navigated. 12 for Ferrari. We are right onto the rear in a moment's time on Alessandro Zacconi. But will Zacconi have a lunge going at Egerter? Whoa, super close there on the braking zone going into 13. Super tight to Alessandro Zacconi. I didn't expect him to cut across the track like that. Just a little bit was enough to throw me off, but goodness me, it's a half of a second lead to Domi Egerter. This is exactly what we didn't want. This is the opposite of what we wanted. Zacconi is like a battering ram. He is not allowing us to get through, but finally we're through. Zacconi makes an error. Do we have a chance then to win this Grand Prix? We have 1 lap to get back at Egerter. I don't know where the move is going to come. I haven't even decided. I've not got anything premeditated at this point, so it's going to be down to Egerter and Grant as we finally get back into position. That was a scary moment going into turn 5 on the previous lap. Make sure we get the job done right this time. As we now go into the right hand side for Sito Pons, you better believe we get the job done properly this time. Alongside Egerter now, it's going to be side by side down the straight for turn 6. It's going to be absolute bravery on the brakes. Who is going to be the last of the late brakers? It's going to be us. Firm on the brakes we go. Rear brake being absolutely slammed on the floor with that right foot. And now, oh, massive moment. Egerter's got it. Egerter's leading by 0.2 of a second. Can we fight back? Another mistake coming for the way of Grant. Look at the acceleration. Can we go around the outside for the Jorge Martinez Aspar corner? Not quite. Egerter still holding firm. Can we go into turn? No, it's not going to be so close for Angel Nieto. He's still there. Oh, the cutback. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Egerter went for the move. Grant patiently waited and fought back immediately. That is how his world champion is made, and that is our MotoE World Cup champion contender is also going to assert himself into this championship. by retaliating that quickly. Are we going to get the job done now? Going into 13, sliding the rear once again, going into the Lorenzo corner. I think the job is well and truly done. This is going to be close enough to the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That's how strong we were in this one. I can't get the wheelie up. Never mind, we get the victory, and that is all that matters. So what a wonderful Grand Prix in this first MotoE race. Grant wins with Egerter and Perilari on the podium. Zacconi and Perilari neck and neck. Their podium finish separated by a lap time. Unbelievable. But let's have a look at the World Championship standings. It's not hard to see exactly what the World Championship standings are going to be. It's pretty much exactly the same results as it was in the race just a couple of seconds ago. So unbelievable start for Grant, who now starts his debut and his first MotoE season leading the World Championship after a stunning victory here in Jerez. So looking at the team championship, the Trentino Grassini MotoE team lead the way with, of course, Grant and Matteo Ferrari taking top spot honours with a now 11-point lead. So guys, what a start to our MotoE season. I have absolutely loved this one. It's been brilliant to commentate and brilliant to race in, so I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, let me know in the comment section down below, and also let me know what you think about my helmet design for this particular season. And upon that note, guys, if you enjoyed, like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single Dot Race upload and live stream. And upon that note, guys, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.
Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more Dot Race content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single Dr. Ace video.